Hey guys, it's Yvette, and I am back with the mini series that Alison Glass and Giucy Giuce are putting on with the patterns that Giuseppe wrote. And I'm really excited. This is week 7, and that means that we are doing the curved cabin. This one, just the way it looks right here on the pattern itself, is exactly this is my favorite so far, I'm thinking, because pineapple was my favorite, but every time I see this one, I just get excited. So this is going to have a slightly different technique this week. So we're kind of throwing that at you, and I'm really excited to get started sewing it. So let's just head over to the sewing machine and get started. I have everything set up and I'm ready to go. Okay, so here I am at the cutting mat and I have everything set up right here. Again, we are working on the curved cabin. And now the way that this one is going to work is that each of these sections, this one, this one, this one, and this one, are 4 different pieces. So of your pattern inside, you're going to want to make 4 copies, because one will go here, one will go here, one here, and one here. So it's not one big pattern like we've been doing so far. This one is going to be, we are going to have 4, and then we're going to sew them together. So we're ready to do this. I have mine all printed out, and I'm trying to think how I'm going to do this. I'm looking at how Giuseppe put his together, and I like that idea. I just don't have, like, he has the one color, and then even like when he gets out here to the greens, he's got like 2 greens and 2, so I'm really not sure how I want to do it, to be honest. Let me see. I've got 10 colors. I know I have 10 colors. And let's see. How do I want to do this? Okay. I have some little bitty pieces. Maybe if I can sort of... I do have... Let's see. I've got 2 pinks. So that could go there. And of course, he's got the white in the middle, and I've just been doing background, so I'm just going to keep it that way. Even though I'm thinking that I really like that white in the background now, but I'm going to keep mine just the way I had them before. Okay, so I'm going to count that as yellow and orange, so that one could be the next one, or it could be this one. And then I do have 2 greens. Oh, but I have this orange too. Maybe I'll take that one out and just do this and this and this, maybe. And then I can do like a blue and purple, kind of like for that one. But that's, hold on, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. How do I want to do this? And actually, these 2 kind of look good together. And then I wonder if I did the green and blue together, and then, I mean, I could do that because that uses all 10 of my colors. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, and that's what he's got. Let's try to do it that way. Because then this one here is using 4 of the 4-inch blocks. And so if I do that, which looks like that's what I'm going to lean toward, kind of keep these together so I don't forget what I'm doing. Okay, so let me pull one of these out because they're very thin so you can see through them. It's coming up. All right, so he says up here, choose the size of your block and cut away any extra template sections with a ruler and rotary cutter. 1/4 inch past the finished edge for seam allowance. Mark areas that are seam allowance to avoid confusion. Good point. Design suggestion. Make 4 of the same size blocks and combine to emphasize the curve created during piecing. The cover block is made of 4 2-inch blocks. Okay. So that's actually, yeah, that's like right down here. Holy cow, yeah, that's small. Okay, figures at the right are examples of the shapes created using 4-inch blocks. Okay. The shaded areas represent the 1/8 inch sections of the block template. Okay, so it looks like this line right here is the 2-inch line, and that would give us this design right here. And actually, I'm thinking I'm liking that because that means that we're going to, you know, you put a 2-inch and a 2-inch together and you'll have a 4-inch, which is typically what we're putting together with the ones that we've already finished. So, so I'm going to do that. Let me get my pens so that I can sort of mark out and you can see what I'm talking about, because they're all together on this, on here. So right here is the 2-inch, which we're going to go ahead and make. I'm going mostly straight. And he's right. If you mark your lines like this so they stand out a little more, it will also help you as you progress to know, you know, where you are in making it. And then I'm going to use the blue to just say, this is your 1/4 inch seam allowance. So that just means that you want to have fabric beyond even this point so that you can, I mean, this is my opinion, but if you have extra beyond this point, you're definitely in a good spot, because you'll be able to do any combining later on if you choose to do so whenever we are, you know, deciding where we want to put everything. If you want to make, you know, a pin cushion for each one, or if you want each one to be a mug rug, or if you want, you know, I mean, you could do whatever you want, but if you want to do like all 8 of them, or 9 if you want to use the bonus block, if you signed up, you got the bonus block, then you can put all of them on one, and you would be using your extra seam allowance to connect them all together in a way that is aesthetically pleasing to you. Okay, so I'm just going to cut out this one with you guys. I won't make you sit here and watch me cut everything. And so personally, I'm just going to go, you know, about 1/2 inch from outside there. And I'm only doing that so then I just have a little bit extra to hold on to while I'm sewing. That's all. Okay. So I'm going to put my 1/2 inch line right over the line I just drew. And it really doesn't have to be perfect either, because, you know, this is all extra. Ooh, these are little, guys. Those of you who've been saying that I've been making such little blocks, you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay. So what I'm going to do, let's just prepare right now for what we're going to do. Now, all of these little blocks over here, those are all going to be background, okay? All of the bigger ones over here are going to be our colors that we are adding on. And number one, for me, since I'm making my, instead of doing the little white dot in the middle, I'm doing background, then I'm going to have background right there. And the same as with everything else, we are just going to follow the numbers as they go around, and that's how we're going to add everything on, by the number. So my number 1 is going to be a piece of background, and I have hidden my scissors. Oh, here they are. Oh, I'm trying to use them. I have them in the cover. That's funny. Okay, so I am just going to cut a little piece. I mean, it really doesn't have to be big. And I'm probably just going to cut this one in half, because I can use these really little ones on all 4 of the blocks. So I'll definitely be using them. So that's my number 1. And then my number 2 and my number 3, I'm going to put these pinks. Okay, so I am going to cut a little piece of this one. Okay guys, I'm trying like a different camera setting. So we're gonna see how this goes. If it's not better, then I'll go back to the old way the next time. It looked like it just has more light, and I don't know if that's gonna be helpful or not, so we're gonna find out. All right, so here are all my pieces that I'm going to be using. My first one I'm going to put on is the background, and I just have to cover this little area right here with number 1. So if I hold that back there, you can see that it is more than covering number 1. And then I'm going to put number 2 on. I'm attached number 2. So I want to take the number 2 and I'm going to turn it to the top, because it's just easier for me to, if I just do it the same way every time, that ensures that I'm not going to accidentally make a mistake with what I want to happen. Okay, so I'm going to take my little pink piece of fabric. I'm going to hold it pretty side to me, and I'm going to move it to the back of the fabric. I'm sorry, the back of the template, and I'm going to make sure that the top is a 1/4 inch above the line that I'm going to sew, which is right here between number 1 and number 2. So I can actually probably pull it down a little bit because I was looking in the wrong spot. And okay, so that looks pretty good. And so let's just stitch that little line. I have shortened my stitch length to 1.4. I'm going to make 1 stitch, 1 back stitch, and then I'm going to stitch the rest of the way down. 1 back stitch, and cut. Okay, here is the stitch that I just made. It is right under the number 2. So I'm going to take number 2 and turn it to my right, fold my paper back on that seam, and then I'm going to take my add an 1/8 ruler, and I will trim off the excess. And then I'm just going to go and press that down and then head over to the sewing machine for the next piece. Okay, so I've just pressed that piece down and we want to add our next piece. So I am going to take my piece of fabric with the pretty side toward me. I'm going to put it to the back of the template. And this is the line that I'm going to be sewing directly under number 3. So I want to make sure that the top of my fabric on the back is at least a 1/4 inch higher than the line I'm going to sew, or above, I should say. And this is just to ensure that we have enough there that it's going to hold it down, and just the excess will be trimmed off when we go over and trim. So let's just sew that line. Okay, so here is the line I just stitched. It is directly under number 3, so I'm going to take number 3 and turn it to the right, fold it back, and then use my add an 1/8 ruler to trim off the excess. Okay, I'm going to press this and come right back. Okay, so we've just done number 1, 2, and 3. Our number 4 is a background. our number 5 is a background, and then we're going to have 6 and 7, which are our next colors in line. So I'm going to, let's see, those are really small, so I think I could probably like just cut this in half, and then I'll have a piece for 4 and a piece for 5, and these two guys are going to be my 6 and 7. So I am going to, let me see, what order did I do them in before? Let me just try to get it right. Okay, so I'm going to do this one first on number 6. And that is plenty, so I will just cut a little piece, and then I'll just cut this one in half. And let's just head over to the sewing machine. Okay, so here are all of my colors. I'm going to move these colors over, and the first things we're going to work on are our 2 background pieces, which are going to go in number 4 and number 5. So we'll just add number 4 like we do everything else. Okay, here's the line I just stitched right under number 4. So I'm going to turn number 4 to the right, fold this back, and trim the excess. So now I'm going to go over and just press that and head over to the sewing machine. Okay, so I have finished one of the 4 pieces, and here it is. So what we're going to do now, just off camera, is I'm going to make the other 3. If you're going to be making them all together, then you really can like do them in like an assembly line kind of thing, where you can cut all of your pieces for like the sections and do like put all of the number 1 and number 2, because number 1 obviously you're just holding on there, but you can add number 2 and then 2 and 2 and 2 and then number 3 3 3 3 and then 4 4 4 4. You get what I'm saying? So you don't have to make just 1 and then just 1 and then just, you know, you can totally do them all at the same time, and that will probably make it go a whole lot quicker for you. And actually these other 3 that I'm going to do off camera, I will do in that way. I will sort of assembly line it in that way, and once I have all 4, I will come back and we will make it look like this. Okay, so I have finished my 4 blocks and I am ready to put them together. So here's what we're going to do. You should have them looking just like this, and all I did was this pink line, if you remember, was the outside edge of our block, the 2-inch block, and then this extra which went to the blue line, that's our seam allowance. So I have trimmed everything beyond the seam allowance. Okay, so we're going to be stitching these together on, actually it's not going to be on those rows. We're going to just, you can mark lines if you want, or you can, actually it is those lines because that's a 1/4 inch. Okay, you guys, it's been a long day. So where our pink line is, those are, that's where we're going to connect the squares together. Okay, so here they are like this. Now we are going to connect them together just like we do any other blocks. We're going to put them right sides together, and then this side here is where we want to join them. So I just kind of do like a little finger touching just to make sure that it feels like everything is where it should be. And then I need to, of course, remind myself what I'm doing. Okay, yes, so I'm stitching here. Okay, and just for fun, I'm just going to put a clip so that I know this is the side I'm sewing, and also it just won't move and I could take it over to the sewing machine. It's, other than that, that's it. And then I'm going to do it for the other one. Going to put them right sides together, and this is the side right here that I am going to join them at. Okay, so let's head over to the sewing machine and join those together, come back, and then we will join them top and bottom as well. Okay, so here are my 2 squares, and I am just going to sew right along the line that we have our pink mark on. And you're going to go all the way from the top to the bottom. Oops. Let's just put it down there. Okay. And I'm just going to stitch very slowly. I'm probably going to back stitch that one. I'm going a little bit slow just because the way that there's so much bulk in there that you want to just kind of make sure you're getting a straight line and that you don't rush over a thickness, and then, you know, your stitch might hop left or right. Probably right in this case. Just for good measure. Alright, and then I'm going to do this one. you can go ahead and chain piece them. It's not that big a deal. And these actually feel really good right here, so I'm just going to slide it in. Now, if you just lift your presser foot and then put the line directly where you want to sew, next to the needle, just bump it right up, and then take one slow stitch, two, see, it's not as easy as you think, and then do one back stitch, and then again just kind of take it a little slow because of all the thickness. Okay, so now we have the top and the bottom pieces sewed together. Now we're just going to flip this one over this way. And again, we can just use this line right here, which is 1/4 inch from the edge. And as you can see, I went ahead and pressed open just because it'll help reduce a little bit of the bulk. And that's basically all you need to do. And again, I'm just going to put the Wonder Clips on because it's just going to help it to be a little more stable while you are sewing. And you can take it over to the sewing machine, not have to worry about it moving and shifting or anything like that. So let's go do that, and then we are done with week 7 of the curved cabin. Okay, I could just about squee right now because I love it. Oh my goodness, look at how it looks compared to, I think it's great. So he has the little white squares, and actually I have to say that the background, just in my opinion, I like it better like this instead of with the white. So, you know, some of them come out where I'm thinking, oh, I should have done the white, or at least something different. And then in this one in particular, I kind of like that it's got the background. So there you go. Just going to go with it no matter what. And I hope you guys had a great time making this one. I think that the curved cabin definitely is my favorite so far. Next week, we are going to be doing the crisscross, which is the last one. And I mean, although that one looks really cool too, I don't know. I'm thinking that the curved cabin is going to end up being my fave. You guys just post down below if you've had a favorite that you've done so far along the way. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great time sewing, and please keep posting those pics because I love seeing all the different colors. I think it's maze balls, and I'm just really enjoying this.